My husband is a grown-up hero child, and being in love with him is the greatest gift of my entire life. And I want you to hear that if you are a hero child, because you may hear the first part of this video and go, oh goodness, I'm so broken. This is me. I can't believe this. No one should love me. Why would they love me? This is awful. Ugh. False. All right. False, my friend, because you're not broken. The belief that you are is the whole problem here. And you'll find out. Okay. You'll find out. First, are you a hero child? What is a hero child? Hero children. You're super responsible. You're overachieving. You're perfectionist in a very specific way. You're probably a people pleaser. You take on a lot of responsibilities. Oh, I have notes. So I'm going to look down and read the notes sometimes because I want to make sure that this is as helpful as possible. You're going to take on a lot of responsibilities in the family so that people do not get as mad as much as they would if you weren't taking on these responsibilities. As Tim Fletcher likes to explain, we try on as kids a lot of different roles and then we stick with the one that worked the best for us. The one that worked the best for you was this thinking. If I'm the perfect child, I won't cause mom and dad more hassles. I'll take the load off of them by doing extra, and that will enable my parents to cope better, and I will help them, and I'll make this family better. That's the way Tim Fletcher explains it. I see this even more so is the more helpful I am, the more proud they are, the more love they give me. And you just do that because it keeps getting reinforced. You keep getting praised for it. And of course you do. You make them look like great parents. You make them breathe easier. You take the load off of them. You get to be, in some instances, their trophy. But in other instances, you just don't have to see them mad. They're just not mad at you. They might not ever express their appreciation, but they're at least not expressing their distaste, their disapproval. And that's your baseline. That's good enough. So, hero child. This starts to backfire in adulthood because deep down, hero feels inadequate. Because hero believes that he was only loved for his performance of perfection, the things that he could do. The belief that hero learned early on was, people don't love me for who I am. They love me for what I can do for them. This turns them into a workaholic, somebody who is constantly keeping score, who's always raising the standard, who's proving in every relationship that they do more than the other person. Hero children often are the people who say, how did you survive before me? You couldn't live without me. I have to do all of the work. I'm doing everything. They think that they want more appreciation and acknowledgement, but working with couples, being in a couple, it doesn't work. It backfires. When hero's partner appreciates and acknowledges him or her, let me say it, this is very evenly divided between men and women when I'm working with couples. Their partner gives them appreciation and acknowledgement, and it just makes it worse because it makes them believe the crappy belief, you don't love me for who I am, you love me for what I do for you. So when their partner is appreciative, it doesn't land because you're like, see, I knew it. I knew you only loved me because of what I do for you. On some level, that is the feeling. It's reinforcing that fear. But at the same time, hero starts to resent the people who are expecting that he will do all of the things he has promised to do that he has been doing. And there's not an escape because if he stops doing all these things, well, then they're not going to love him. They're going to judge him and he's going to feel super guilty. But if he keeps doing all of these things, now he resents them because they're never helping. But if they help, then they're not going to love him anymore because if I am not doing things for you, you won't love me. That's the fear. So you're between a rock and a hard place where if you take a rest, you're no longer lovable. But if you keep going, you burn out. And it's exhausting because the thing that makes hero feel worthy of love is productivity. It's doing things. It's getting things done. And that means they don't want to think about or feel emotions because emotions just slow them down. So they just try to become a non-feeling, highly productive robot. And sometimes that works. And then other times it doesn't. And then these feelings burst out and then they just try to suppress it again and they keep going on. This is likely because they never experienced sharing emotions, co-regulating with their parents. They've never experienced it. The best version of connection they ever got was not actual, deep, true connection. It was just approval for achievement. And emotions get in the way of this productivity and achievement. The hero child is also very addicted to stress. Almost every hero child is constantly stressed. You're either stressed that you're doing too much or you're stressed that you're doing too little. Because stress indicates that you're being productive and you're being helpful. So you better be stressed or you're not doing enough. Now, that means that a lot of grown-up hero children maintain long-term partnerships and choose romantic partners with people who do take advantage of them, or people who don't want to take advantage of them but end up being forced to. This is so fascinating because grown-up hero children are keeping a running list in the head of all the things that they do for their partner. But because they need their side of the list to be longer in order to feel important, the hero children will discourage, grown-up hero child will discourage his partner from learning how to support him. Hero will take on more and more and more and then accuse his partner of not doing enough. And when his partner tries to help, he will go, "You didn't meet my standard. Why would I even trust you? I can't trust you. You can't help me. I don't want your help." And then he'll start to try to ask for help and he'll tell his partner what to do and his partner will not meet his standard because of course not. Hero is spending his entire life making the standard higher and higher and higher and higher and higher for himself. He can barely meet his own standard. Of course, his partner who's just starting to learn also can't meet it. This doesn't mean the partner needs to learn the high standard, which is the trippy, cool thing. It actually means they need to choose together, hero and partner. What's our shared standard? What do we want the clean kitchen? How are we going to clean the kitchen? How do we define a clean kitchen now? How often do we walk the dogs? How do we handle getting our children dressed and raising our kids? How do we handle, you choose a standard together. That is so healing in a relationship because this is what's been so wild of being married to a grown-up hero child is that I knew I can't meet this standard that you have. And then instead of that, we chose standards together. And I thought that would be very devastating for him and disappointing. And he would be constantly fighting this judgment of me. It gave him so much relief because he didn't have to live up to that standard. He felt loved by us being partners on this lower standard, this not impossible standard. And he's like, well, I can live up to that. I can do that. And he's so much chiller because we've agreed on a standard. Because the grown-up hero child, right? You were raised to keep raising your standards, so you never felt good enough. And now you have somebody sitting next to you, standing next to you, walking next to you, being your partner saying, I don't like that high standard. It actually makes me feel more disconnected. It makes me feel less like your friend. Let's choose a different one. Let's choose this one. I think it's healthier. What do you think? And you choose a standard together. And it's like, oh, cool. It's been really, really cool to unpick all of these high standard areas. Set standards together instead of going based off of whatever hero standard was. And when there's something that needs to be done, state the goal and then brainstorm how to achieve it together. State the goal and then brainstorm how to achieve it together. This is weird because this is a different thing entirely, but I think you follow. I believe in you. Healing this is actually simple. It's just scary. But you've been scared. You've been scared. A hero has been scared their whole life. They've been scared that if they don't do enough things good enough for the people that they want in their lives, they will not be loved by them. That fear turned into this core belief, because what is scarier to our brains than what we fear is not knowing when the fear will happen. So we just decide it when it's happening. You don't care about me. You don't value me. You don't appreciate me. You don't whatever. So we turn our fear into a belief. You won't love me for who I am. You will only love me for what I do for you. That's the belief. Let me tell you that this is a symptom. Okay. This list making, this high standards thing, these are just symptoms. Okay. And they are symptoms of disconnection. Next time you catch yourself building a long list, deciding that a person you love is your villain, criticizing the way that they're helping you, as soon as that's happening, then you go, oh, this is just a symptom of my fear of disconnection. That is it. And I'm not saying, by the way, you have to give up any of your skills. You're incredibly capable. You're helpful. You're kind. You're pretty dang smart. You figure things out. You don't have to give up any of that. You're just doing it too soon. So when you do this, building a list, criticizing the way somebody's helping you, villainizing people, just be like, oh, I'm feeling disconnected. And I think my brain thinks that I just need to do more to get connection. Let's not do that. Because as Gabor Mate brilliantly says, safety is not the absence of threat. It's the presence of connection. What the hero child brain is doing, all of the things we just talked about, that is the hero brain trying to reduce the threat. If I do more, it's less likely you'll leave me. It's less likely you'll reject me. So it's less likely you'll be mad at me. So I'm just going to do. Instead of focusing on reducing the threat, we got to focus on increasing the connection. So next time you're getting stressed and you're raising the standard and you're doing on the list and you're being so mad, focus on connection. Connection to yourself and connection to a loved, trusted person. Those two things. Connection to self is not enough. Okay. Bad news for all the people who really are like obsessed with meditation and believe that it's all self. No, we are relational creatures. You know why your brain does this? You know why you're a grown-up hero child? You know why you ever became a hero child? Because when our brains were forming, the most important thing to learn was how to get connection, how to get attachment. Food, water, shelter, we couldn't get those on our own. We could only get them through attachment. Our brains are wired to need connection and attachment. You're not broken for needing approval or needing people to love you or needing somebody to trust or needing anybody. You're human. And if you embrace that need, congratulations, you're one of the strongest humans. You can think of so many examples where you should have been scared and you were not because you weren't alone. You didn't feel alone. That's biology, baby. That's what makes us strong. And you can think of a lot of examples where you should not have been scared and you were because you were alone. I shouldn't be scared, but I am. Yeah, you need somebody to share your emotional state with you, to see you, to validate you, to witness you, to accept you. That's a need, baby. That's a valid need. Most grown-up hero children that I work with in internal family systems or something adjacent to that, parts work is very helpful. And you do that, you find an individual therapist who does that, who specializes in that. And when you go in, you tell them, I need help accepting my core self and my emotions. Those two big things. I need help accepting my core self and emotions. And you can tell them what the fear is. I am afraid that no one will love me for who I am. They'll only love me for what I do for them. I am working on that. So that's one thing, doing IFS around that, doing whatever methodology works for you. Maybe IFS is not the one. I'm obsessed with parts work and internal family systems because I have seen it work magic. And then you take it, and that's how you interact with your partner, your friends, your loved ones, your coworkers. It's so great. And then 2 is the SEEN method. That's the method I created. So SEEN, scared, embarrassed, expectations, needs. It is the method that is based on relationships, based on going, what is my root fear here? What is happening? Why am I? All of the ways that I'm treating you, the blame, the anger, the resentment, all of those are symptoms. What's the root fear cause? What's the root embarrassment/shame cause? What is the expectation that I have of myself and of you? And did we agree on that? Why is that even there? What expectation do we want to have? If you want to go into this deeper and learn from me directly at the time of recording this video, I have an online course where I work with people. I work with small group Q&As, no more than 10 people per group. And we really it's a small group session. So you do the online course at your own pace, but you come to these sessions with me and I ask you about your life and what your pain is and what you're going through. And me right here, this person is talking to you about it. And it's freaking beautiful and powerful and amazing. And I want everyone to heal and learn and connect because I think it is the most life-changing thing in the world. So if you want to be part of that course, that link is below. And if you're like, I don't know for sure, there's a free relationship masterclass that I also give, including if you just can't afford it. I'm trying to give out a lot of free stuff too. Yes, I want to feed my family, but also I want to change the freaking world. Okay. Okay. So those links are below. This is such a huge phenomenon. So many people are grown up hero children, and you deserve to be loved for who you are. You're really cool people, like always. You really are. You're capable, you're smart, you're loving, you care about people. The reason the hero child role fit for you is because you were sensitive and you cared about people. And there's so many deep, cool things about you that I'm excited for you to find out people love. I really hope this is helpful. And I am sending you so much love and so much faith and belief. And I hope you love your day. I hope you love you. Good morning.